Hey, it's Bill, and you're tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show, featuring the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer right here on PARockShow.com, MegaRockRadio.net, 107.1 FM St. Louis, Missouri, Alt Rock Radio, altrockradio.ca in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, xrpradio.co.uk in Birmingham, United Kingdom, rootarooradio.com on the beaches of San Diego. This is the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 592. And with me tonight are Lucas and Byron from Modernwelfare. What's up, gentlemen?
How's it going?
How you doing?
So, the last time I talked to you, Lucas, it was like 2 days before you moved to Florida.
Yep.
And we were discussing off the air that you're still there.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about that move. How did it go? How's the band functioning in Florida?
So the move was rough. We hired a moving company to move us down here and our stuff. It took about 2 months to receive it.
Oh.
So that was terrible, but we moved down during the height of COVID, so nothing really happened too much. So we decided to go to Nashville and record another album. We changed the sound up a little bit. We went more towards alternative rock than pop punk like we were before. And we met Byron and we started playing some shows and stuff down here. And the scene is... The scene's very cool. It's definitely different compared to Pennsylvania. There's a lot more heavier bands, and there's a lot more like subgenre shows. But for the most part, alternative rock seems to be happening down here. So yeah, I mean, it's been a busy year, and things were definitely hectic. We upgraded all of our live equipment, and that was a headache because I didn't know how to run any of that until I decided to buy all of it. So it took me a while, but now we got all of our equipment, and I think we sound better than ever, and I'm excited for what we got in the future.
So how did you hook up with Byron? How did that connection get made?
So we made a post. We were deciding if we should bring on a rhythm guitar player or not, because I wanted to sing more and not play guitar. And we made a few posts, and we kind of sat back and watched to see what would happen. And once Byron messaged us, we did a video chat, and I saw him play a little bit, and I got to meet him a little bit and see his personality, and it was just a perfect fit.
Byron's sitting there pretty quiet. You agree with that perfect fit thing or no?
100%. Yep.
So I asked off the air if he had prepared you for this show. We're going to test that theory. So this question is just for you, and Lucas has to be quiet. I need you to tell me something embarrassing that's happened on stage while you've been with Modernwelfare, but it can't be something that you did. It has to be something that someone else in the band did.
We use a thingy, I forget what it's called, to kind of trigger our backing tracks when we're on stage for our electronics. The thing is super sensitive is the issue. So our drummer John just plays so loud that even like the vibrations of him smacking the drums was able to cause the thing to glitch out. And I think that was our first show too. We got up on stage for our first show and made it clear that it was our first show. So, yeah.
What? Let's stick with. Let's see. What was your first impression of Lucas when you went in for the first time?
Great guy, talented singer.
He's like, I am not going to answer that the way that you want me to.
Yeah, phenomenal guitarist too.
All right, I'll take you out of the hot seat a little bit. So this is a newer question. Lucas has probably heard me ask it, but I wasn't asking it when you were on at the time. If you were waiting at the crossroads for the devil to show up, what would you be there to sell your soul for?
Recording contract, obviously.
That was quick. How about you, Lucas?
This might sound ridiculous, but honestly, I would sell my soul so that I could quit smoking cigarettes. Because as a singer, that's like the worst habit I have, and I can't seem to stop. So that's what I would. I think with the record contract and stuff, I think we could, high hopes, regardless. But I don't know. That's probably what I would do. I'll be able to sing longer. It'll be better for my health. So,
this is another new question since you were on. And since you've now been part of two scenes, you have a little more of a map to cover with this question. So I recently covered a band from Michigan. I did a photo shoot for them here in Katanning, Pennsylvania, and they were excited about having Vocelli's Pizza, which, as you know, is kind of like a chain thing here. So my question is, what has been the best pizza that you've had while you were in a band? Where'd you get it from?
I know when we lived in Pittsburgh, my favorite place we'd order when we do practice and stuff. This is before we met Byron, but is Joey-O's Pizza from Latrobe.
I know exactly where you're talking about.
I've been to a lot of places. I traveled a lot this last year, and there still isn't better pizza I've ever found. It's just too good.
Joey, I can't even say it right now, but that's the one that has the sauce drizzled on top, right?
So you can get it different ways, but Joey-O's has like a pie crust instead of pizza crust. So it's almost like candy.
I always get them, and there's another one in Greensburg. They both start with a J, and I can't remember the other one, but I always get them confused. I've had them both. The diocese, I teach at a Catholic school, Byron. The diocese used to order pizza in when we had meetings. If you're watching the chat room, Gonto, who is in the chat right now on Facebook, is a local musician from Latrobe who's liking that we're talking about Latrobe right now. He recently put out a single called Warrior Soul, which I played on the last episode right at the end. So if anyone listened to that was Gonto there at the end. I always say he sounds like Johnny Cash singing metal. I've never told him that though, so we'll see how he reacts to that.
I like both of those, so I'm cool with that.
Let's I'm gonna pick on Byron again. Well, I guess you could both answer. If let's say you guys head out on a tour, and for some reason I am driving the tour bus, don't let me do that. If you're paying attention there in the chat room, Gonto is talking about my car being messed up by deer. But anyway, let's say that I'm driving. What is the soundtrack that we're going to listen to between tour stops? So who are we listening to?
Who are we listening to during the ride?
Yep.
If it was me controlling the aux, probably lots of noise and experimental. So I'm sure we'd go insane before the end of the tour. But it's always good for the performances.
If it was me, I've been listening to a lot of different music that I normally wouldn't be, but lately I've been listening to I think they're called the Kooks, and they're so good. They're like a British band. I might be saying it wrong, but they're real good. And then there's this band called Surfaces, and they sing their famous song is called Sunday's Best, but like they came out with 2 albums since I moved down here. And I tell you what, there's not a bad song on either of those albums. I could listen to that or on repeat all day.
Of course, I would have some control if I was driving, and my stuff would be much older than anything you guys are talking about. That wasn't local. There would definitely be a lot of local and unsigned music being played, but the recognizable stuff is going to be, you guys may not have been alive kind of stuff. I'm guessing you're both in your early 20s ish.
I'm getting old. I'm close to my 30s. I'm 28.
Okay. Well, when you were born, I was, let's see, if you're 28, I was 7. I'm not going to do the math. I'll be 45 this month. Even though I saw a former colleague teacher on Halloween. She sent me a message today and told me that I never age. I don't know what she's talking about. But anyway, I look like the claymation Christmas shows. The Chris Kringle. See, you guys knew as soon as I said it. I look like Chris Kringle. The red beard and blue eyes.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's probably why all the little kids at my school love me, and the older ones were like, whatever. Anyway, Gonto, yes, you do. Anyway, let's say that you're sitting on a bench, and your musical idol comes and sits down next to you, and you can ask only one question. What are you going to ask that person, and who is that person?
What do you think, Byron?
You go first.
Well, I say my biggest idol is Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. I don't know what I would ask him. I mean, there'd be a million questions, but and I've watched a bunch of videos, but I'd ask him what kind of what motivated him to specifically work with Mike Shinoda and do Linkin Park, like what that dynamic there between the members, like what drew him in with them. Cause I know he was in other projects beforehand, but I was always curious about that, like specifically how they met and, their relationships with each other and how things were, behind the music more than about the music.
Byron's not one. I really wish you would have had a longer answer.
For me, I guess the first person that comes to mind is Robert Fripp. And I'd probably ask him what chord he plays in the verse of 21st Century Schizoid. Been trying to figure it out for years. Can't do it.
Did you get all that, Red? Lucas, can I put it down now?
Yes, thank you.
I saw your eyes moving. All right, so this is kind of my podcast official question. I have 2 different podcasts, Brian. 3 if you count the live show that we do on XRP. But the question is, who is your Dave Grohl? And by that I mean, what artist would you want to go up on stage with and play one of their songs? Because the Foo Fighters are known for bringing people up out of the crowd.
You asking me?
Both of you.
I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just play with the people I know, to be honest. They say you never meet your heroes. You're not supposed to. So
they do say that.
Yeah.
I would mine would be From Yesterday by 30 Seconds to Mars, but specifically Jared Leto. I love that song for some reason. I don't know. I always have. And I think I can sing it kind of well, so I think it would be cool to get up on stage and perform that with him.
See, I always forget that he's in 30 Seconds to Mars. I always think of him as the Joker.
Yep.
Yeah.
P.S. My classroom is decorated in superhero stuff.
There's a bunch of stuff down here because I think Disney bought Marvel.
Correct.
Could be wrong. So it's everywhere. There's so many cool things. I was at Disney Springs the other day, and they have the shield for Captain America. It's like a legitimate metal shield you can hang on your wall. And I thought about trying to convince my fiance if she'd let me buy it, but I already know that's a no.
My son is in 8th grade, and I literally had this conversation with him the other day. He's like, "Hey, Dad, do you realize that Captain America's superpower is being a genius?" I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Think about it. In a split second, he does enough geometry in his head to figure out where to throw that shield so it hits everything he wants to hit, and it comes back to him."
Yep.
I was like, I think you're right. Here I was thinking it was being a leader and strong. Let's see. Let's just do that. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? Like Kiss was formed because Gene Simmons wanted to be a superhero. So what was your superpower?
Yeah, I'd be invisible.
Okay, why? Or maybe I should be afraid to ask why, but why?
I don't know. Think about all the places you could go for free just by being invisible.
If I was invisible, I'd go to the pyramids, like inside of them.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Invisible is great if I really had to think about it, but I think that's what I would do too. I think I'd be invisible because I could just go do so much more and see so much more. And then also too, like when I'm in crowded places, I get social anxiety, so I could just disappear and no one would even know I was there. I could just do what I want.
The other question, well, he asks me questions all the time, but he was like, if you're going to be a superhero, what's your weakness going to be? I was like, obviously kryptonite, because when's the last time you actually saw a kryptonite? But anyway, if you on that headlining tour that I mentioned earlier could bring any band with you, who are you gonna have tag along? Who's gonna open for you? It can be an already well-known band, or it could be someone from your scene that you think deserves to make that tour trip with you.
What do you think, Byron?
It's hard to say. I would like to say someone from the local scene, someone that people don't know, if we're going to go on a tour. But at the same time, it's hard to pick just one band.
You can throw out a couple.
There's a local band that I really like called Happy Hour, and another one called I Met a Yeti. Yeah, these Orlando bands, have very original names. So,
hey, listen, I have met a Yeti. He's in a band called 9 Stitch Method. And back in the day, there was a Yeti in a band called Super Zero. So I've actually met 2 Yetis.
Love it. But yeah, those are bands. Those are examples of bands that put on a great show that I love to tour with.
Cool. Guide Lucas.
There's a band that we played with in Pittsburgh a lot. They're called Your Fractured Fairy Tale. And I just love them dudes. They were cool. We played with Fame on Fire when we opened up for them and stuff. I would gladly go on tour with them. They're all cool. So that would definitely be the band I would choose for sure.
Speaking of Pittsburgh, are there plans? I know you guys came back and played it at the Hard Rock, but are there plans to come back again?
Maybe when the weather's nice.
So you're saying never?
No, I mean, I tell you what, when we were up there, it was beautiful.
You know what?
August. There's like 2 months out of the year that is just perfect.
It's actually been in the high 50s and low 60s all week here.
That's crazy.
Which for November is amazing.
Yeah. But I think our plans are to try to play Pittsburgh at least once a year, no matter where we're living, just because that's where most of us are from. And it's a chance for us to see our families and, run around Pittsburgh and get to enjoy all the stuff that we don't get to enjoy down here. Like ham salad and gob cake. For some reason, that doesn't happen in Florida. Crazy to me. But anyways.
I was going to say good hockey games, but
do we even have a hockey team?
In Orlando? No, but the Panthers are from Florida, and then you have Tampa Bay
too. Yeah.
How about let's talk about your song Walls, and then we'll take a short break. This is your and Gonto will understand what I'm saying. This is your MTV moment, but that means nothing to you guys. What back in the day, there was actually music on MTV, and they had a show called Storytellers, where the bands would tell stories about their music. So now you can tell a story about your song.
Well, you want me to just kind of tell you about what the song's about, or
you can do that. You can talk about something that happened while you're recording it, or maybe you were on stage and someone fell off the stage while you were playing it.
So we recorded it in Nashville, and that was a crazy experience. Byron got to see snow for the first time, so that was pretty cool. And
don't come to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed.
But we co-wrote it with our producer. So we have 6 songs we went up there to record, and we decided 2 of them were kind of like in the works, and we decided to start from scratch just because we got everything done so quick. And he's like, let's just write something together. So we're like, all right, let's do this. And it was just pretty cool. It was almost like everyone just kept pitching out ideas for this section and that section, and everything just kind of came together. And the song itself is essentially about toxic relationships and the boundaries we set. And yeah, it was just cool to kind of see, especially with our producer and the co-producer, because I didn't know them extremely well. But after we got to write with them, we got to like hear some of their personal experiences and why they like this lyric to the song, or why we should do transitions here and there, and just all the things that go into it. I got to experience, at least for me, what it's like to actually be a singer, and how much real hard work it is in the studio. And I also had to figure out how to sing without a Pittsburgh accent. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. But yeah, I mean, it was a cool experience, but I'll let Byron kind of go for it too.
About Walls?
Yeah.
Well, for me, the main thing that I found fascinating about it was that it was one of the quickest songs we wrote. Not quick in tempo, but that song took us the least amount of time to write. And the thing about that is that, growing up, I always thought that you have a lot of people tend to think you need to spend like weeks and weeks and weeks on a song. But I think the general consensus of like a lot of hit songwriters is that when you do that, when you toil, the songs will come out good, but they'll never be hits. And here, the song that we spent the least amount of time on is our most listened song on Spotify right now. So it's just, I don't know, it's just cool, like, seeing that actually happen.
That's, you don't have time to overthink it and over edit and
Yep.
All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to take a moment. We are going to listen to Walls by Modernwelfare. And we will be right back with Byron and Lucas. Hey, so those of you that are hanging out with us live, you do not get to hear that song right now. You will have to wait until Friday. If you go to buildscene.com, starting at 6 a.m. on Friday, you can click on the link for this episode, or all those stations I mentioned at the beginning have various times that they that they play the show, and you can check us out on the internet or FM if you're in St. Louis, which is weird, right? Pennsylvania Rock Show airs in St. Louis, but hey, it's FM. I'll take it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come in as if we just heard the song, and I'm going to ask a couple more questions, and then I will let you guys be on your way.
Okay.
Okay, that was Walls by Modernwelfare. This is the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 592. You are on the tail end of the episode. With me tonight are Lucas and Byron. You guys can wave in the video. If you look in the video right below me, it says modernwelfareofficial.com. You can find them there. I did notice some new photography up there. I liked it.
Thank you.
Photography is becoming my thing recently. Well, I say recently. I've been doing it for 20 years, but I've been doing the band photography, actually going out. In fact, I got hired tonight to do a show this weekend. So anyway, First Angel Media, if you're looking for any kind of artist services, websites, EPKs, photography, reviews, if it's band related, you can find us there. And buildscene.com for my podcasts and radio shows and other services. Anyway, commercial out of the way. Let's get on to the really oddball questions again. Okay, so Metallica once played in Antarctica. Kiss once played in the ocean to the sharks. What is one venue that you want to play? It can be anything.
Mine would personally be at the pyramids of Giza because I love it. I've never been there yet, so I mean, it'd be a excuse. I could just tell my fiance, like, "Hey, this is where we're playing. We got to go." She'd be like, "All right." What do you think, Byron?
I agree with Lucas.
He's like, I am done with these questions. I asked you if he warned you. As a musician, what is your favorite thing about being a musician?
I know for me, I like to perform live. I like the adrenaline rush of just singing and like all the strategy behind it, like the breaths and how to have good showmanship versus also performing the music correctly. And I really like all of the inner workings of our equipment and making sure that everything plays right and sounds good. I really like that aspect of it.
For me, it's honestly, it's the people you meet. It's the scene. Music attracts a diverse crowd, and if it wasn't for music, I'd probably have no friends. You get to be on podcasts, getting asked oddball questions. So, yeah, that's a big perk of being a musician.
So this next question is the fault of social studies teachers. If you could go back in time and spend a year at any time in history, what band would you want to go back in time and follow and hang out with for that year?
I got to think about this one, Byron. You got to go.
Probably go back to some ancient civilization, ancient Greece and ancient Syria. Reason being because those are the locations from which we have our oldest surviving notated music. And the issue is none of the stuff that we have is actually complete. It's just kind of fragments of songs. So people have kind of recreated them with modern instruments, but like I said, it's fragments. And I would just absolutely kill to hear what actual ancient music sounded like in its complete form, to be honest.
Top that, Lucas.
I was about to say, like, oh my god.
As he was talking, I kept thinking, like, oh no, I don't know what I'm going to say.
This guy's just thinking, man, this guy probably just going to go back in time to see Black Sabbath once. No, I'm trying to go back to ancient Syria.
I'm bad with dates, so I'm not sure the time period, but it would be considered blues, I guess, but there were subset genres then too. But there is a blues musician called Howlin' Wolf, and
Right.
I don't know, for some reason, I don't really listen to music like that too much, but I just love his catalog. I don't know what years that would have been. Maybe the 20s, the 30s?
Howlin' Wolf, he's active maybe 40s through 60s.
The 40s, something like that, yeah.
In the 30s, yeah.
I'm bad with dates. I always have been. I have a hard time figuring out when World War II and World War I were, and I get them confused when I'm watching the History Channel. I'm like, wait a second, this isn't the same war.
I am. I'm glad I don't teach social studies anymore. We'll say that. So this question is more for Lucas until you get Byron up here and make him survive snow, because whatever he saw in Nashville wasn't real snow.
Yeah.
Listen, when they come on the news and it's a state in the South and they're like, the state is shut down, and they show snow, and I'm like, I'm wearing shorts in that weather. All right, Lucas. What's something that you miss about the Pittsburgh scene and something that you love about the Orlando scene?
The Pittsburgh scene, I miss just knowing a lot of people. I think when I lived there, I took it slightly for granted that, I grew up in the Pittsburgh area, and I met a lot of musicians, and I know a lot of people that work in the industry there. Down here was harder. We were starting from scratch. We had new music, so it was an uphill battle for a good while. Down here, I just like how, like, you got Daytona, Orlando, Tampa, even Gainesville and Jacksonville. They're all, for the most part, Florida, from coast to coast where we're at, it's like an hour and a half each way. So there's so many venues and places to play. I know that for a while there, I kept seeing venues that I loved in Pittsburgh just say, hey, this is it. Like, we're closing the doors. And like down here, I feel like most of the venues kind of stayed open. So I don't think it took as much of a toll, but down here it just seems like there's more major cities in a small area compared to how it was in Pittsburgh. But yeah, I mean, I miss all the people I met in Pittsburgh, and even some of the professional contacts we worked with there. Like, 2 years away is a long time, especially when you're not, actively working together. Those relationships start to slip to the side a little bit. So I'd say that's probably it.
Okay, Byron, you're not completely getting out of this one. Something you like about your music scene and something that you absolutely hate about it.
The Orlando scene. Something I like about it, the people and the house shows. To me, I think the house shows are the most fun part of the scene. Playing at a big venue is cool. Playing at a smaller venue is cooler. You get more connection with the audience. And playing at someone's house, you get even more connection with the audience, which frankly I like a lot. What do I hate about the scene? The weather and the temperature in the venues.
Yep.
I've only been to Orlando once. I spent a week there. We were at Disney, It was 90 degrees with the heat index of 99, and all of Disney is blacktop.
Yep.
I liked it there, but not enough to do 100-degree week again.
You went for the whole week. You came down and went to different parks in different days.
We did.
My gosh, I did that. We did 3 parks in one day, and I've never hurt more in my life.
We did it. How old were my kids then? I want to say my daughters were like 6, which would have made 8 and 8. I could be wrong. I almost want to yell into him. He's in the next room and ask him how old he was, but it was a little much at 100 degrees, and my parents were with us, and they thought that we should be in the park when the gate opened and leave as they're closing, and my kids weren't really up for that.
Yeah, everyone always says it's the most magical place on earth, but they don't tell you that it's a slightly more magical whenever there's no kids. Because it's wildly cool, but it's hard with kids.
Probably my favorite moment was the Aerosmith ride. What do they call it? The Rockin' Coaster.
Rock and roller coaster. I just rode that like 3 days ago. My brother came down. We went to Hollywood to see the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, my brother and I rode it, and my kids, my wife, and my parents were in the hotel.
Yeah, that one scared me. That was wild. Yep. Weird concept for a coaster, but I was like, you know what? It was worth it.
I'm going to give you a funny story. It probably won't make the actual podcast, but the one Star Wars ride, I can't remember what it's, Star Tours, I think it was called.
Yeah.
When you go in, Vader shows up on the screen and he's looking for rebel scum, and they pick someone that's in the ride and they're looking for that person. Well, that person was a little girl sitting to my left, and she looked exactly like my daughter sitting to my right. And so we're walking through the park, and the stormtroopers are asking for ID as you're walking by them. And my daughter disappeared, and we couldn't figure out where she went. Well, here, she thought she was the one they were looking for, and she was hiding behind a garbage can. We still give her a hard time about that. Anyway, that'll definitely cut. Let's see. You have to listen to how I word this. And keep in mind it's PG-13. I may have asked you this already, Lucas. All right, so there's an apocalyptic event, and the majority of the humans on Earth are wiped out. There's a handful of people left, and during that apocalypse, all but one song from every band is destroyed as well. Which Modernwelfare songs should survive to help that handful of people repopulate the earth?
That one's rough. Neither song that we have out right now fit that category of music, but we do have a song coming out later on next year called Highway, and that one would be probably the best fit. So we have it. It exists. We just haven't released it yet. So even if the world ended, it would still exist. That's the one I would definitely, it would probably be the one I'd choose.
What?
That's my roommate.
Oh.
He said, so there's this song by the band Surfaces I was talking about, and it's called Sheesh. And he doesn't like that song at all, so I'm always picking on him about it.
I was like, what is he talking about?
There was only one song left in the world. That's the one I would choose, and I'd put it on repeat everywhere. I'm
going to ask you one more Pennsylvania rock show type question, and then I'll give you 2 normal questions.
Okay.
I saw that. When you rewatch this video, you're going to see your shoulders drop and you relax right there, Byron. You may not realize you did it, but you did it.
Yeah, I believe you.
Okay. See, now I put myself on the spot and I can't think of one. What? Nah, let's not do that one. See that?
Welcome to my world.
If you know what? No, I'm gonna give you a more. I'm gonna not give you a Pennsylvania rock show question. I'm gonna give you. Can you tell me the moment that you realized that you wanted to be a musician? See, it's a hard question, but it's not a off the wall question.
I know for me, a long time ago, my brother was in a rock band, and they played this place in Somerset called the Ramada Inn. It's now closed, I think, but they played. I think they played Kryptonite by Three Doors Down, and I saw my brother play guitar, and I was like, "That's what I want to do. I want to play guitar and sing." So I don't know. I just clicked then. I don't think I played guitar for another 4 or 5 years or sang in a band or anything, but that's when I knew that that's what I wanted to do.
Is your brother still in a band?
No, it's actually really odd. He went from introducing me to alternative rock and taught me how to play bass and guitar and kind of inspired me. And now he decided not to do any of those things, and he changed the genre he listens to specifically country. And I don't think I've seen him play an instrument since like 2011 or so. But he's a phenomenal bass player, probably one of the best bass players I've ever heard. But he's a dad now and got a bunch of stuff going on. So
I know how that affects things. Okay, Byron, I bought you a little bit of time.
Yeah. If I had to pick a single moment, it'd probably be my first concert, which was Death Grips. I believe that was October 2019. No, not 2019, 2016. My bad. I had already been playing guitar for years, and I loved music ever since I was, a really young kid. But seeing that show, and that's still probably one of my top 5 shows of all time, honestly. But seeing that show made me think, okay, now I got to write songs. I want to be on stage, that sort of thing.
Cool. I promise you 2 normal questions. So the first one is, what's coming up for Modernwelfare? What do you have on the calendar?
Right now, we're pretty much just kind of relaxing for the holidays. This time of year gets busy for everyone. And we were hoping to have a song release by, early November, but we decided to work our budget and try to see if we can't do a better and a more solid promotion. The next song coming out is called Forgive Us. We don't have a 100% release date. We're still waiting on some of our multimedia stuff to come back. But yeah, pretty much other than that, that's about it. We keep pitching for shows. But like I said, we really don't have too much planned for November, December. We're going to try to hit the ground running in January and see exactly what we can play and how things are going down here. A lot of big bands are canceling shows. There's always kind of a local scene happening, so we're definitely going to play some shows, probably a lot of house shows. I really seem to enjoy more of the small, intimate setting, so I think that's what our goal will be this year.
That's kind of what this show was in the beginning back in 2004. Bands would come into the room I'm sitting in right now and play live, and we streamed it over the internet. that was the show, and there would be like 20 to 30 people here, and I was sober and nobody else was, including the bands that were playing. And it was fun. So basically it was a house show, except I was DJing it.
Love it.
All right, last question. Besides modernwelfareofficial.com, where can the listeners find you guys online?
All the normal stuff, Facebook, Instagram. We got a LinkedIn, even though I don't really know. Too many people don't seem to use that for specifically to discover music, but we have a Shopify where all of our merch is sold. You can find us on all those platforms if you just type in Modern Welfare Official. And then we have a TikTok. We haven't been posting as much on it, but yeah, I would say that's probably Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all that stuff. I'd say all major streaming platforms.
Cool. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Byron is now thinking, wow, I survived that. I asked you if he warned you.
I kind of did. I was like, he might ask us some crazy questions, but it's all on the spot.
This has been episode number 592. You're going to hear some more of the best unsigned rock and metal coming up. When you hear John the American Hilljack Lane, you will know the episode has ended. That does not mean it is time to get off of the station you're listening to. Those stations are supporting the unsigned independent musicians and this show as well. So make sure you hang out there and listen. And who knows, maybe you'll find your next favorite band. My name is Bill. Catch me each and every Friday, 8 p.m. on buildthescene.com. You can find me on the 1st and 15th of each month for 3 questions and a song, which you can also find at buildthescene.com. And then once a month on XRP Radio, you will find Jonna from First Angel Media and I hang out with Kat and Tiz from XRP. And we do a show called Friendly Fire there, where we basically take songs from our music scene and our playlist up against their playlist. And the chat box discusses which songs they like better and why. Really cool, friendly atmosphere. And for some reason, we keep losing it. I think it's because they're keeping score. My name is Bill. I'll catch you next time.